Hello everyone, my name is Cindy Gozali and welcome to ARFoundation Basics in Unity tutorial. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to rotate and change color of an object. So after creating new project, the first thing you need to do is go to the build settings and switch platform to the Android or maybe iOS, depends on what platform you are going to make it. So after you have switched platform, you need to import the model you are going to use to this project. For me, I'm using this police civilian vehicle number 5 from the Unity Asset Store. So after you have import your model to the project, let's drag the prefab to the hierarchy. So you can see the model that I'm using, the creator also include the LOD, so I don't really need this, so I will remove it. And I also don't need all of this. And I also included the civilian here, so I also don't need this, so I also delete it. So after that, let's create the canvas. So in here, you also need to change the canvas scaler to scale with screen size and change the resolution. I'm going to use this resolution, so I need to type the reference resolution to set that. So the first that we are going to do is we are going to rotate this car using a slider. So let's create the slider. Go to UI, slider. So I want to move this slider to the bottom. So let's change the anchor to the bottom. Drag it. And this slider is also too small, especially for font. So let's change the size of it. Let's change to 800 for the width, and for the height is 150. Okay. So let's create a script for it. So go to Assets, create script. And let's name it as rotate model. So you can see that inside this slider they have this value and they have this on value change. So this on value change means that every time the player changes the value, they will call the function from here. So to be able to access the slider, we need to make using Unity engine.ui and make public slider. Then let's call what game object. We are going to change the rotation. So delete all of this because we don't need this. And let's make the function for the on value change. Call public void slider rotating model. So in here we are going to change the rotation of the model. So model.transform.rotation is equal to quaternion.euler. So for this, it depends on where you want to rotate the model. Still have this slider. And for me, I'm going to change it on the y-axis. So the x position depends on the model transform the rotation.x Then for the y, it depends on the slider value. So let's make slider.value and model.transform rotation.z. Save it. So for this, because I want the rotating is from 0 to 360 degree, so let's change the slider minimum value and maximum value. So it starts from 0 and the maximum is maximum, then the maximum is 360. So to be able to access this script, let's create a new game object. Set the position. Let's rename it as script. So this will contain most of our script. Drag it. So inside this slider, let's drag the slider, and for the model, let's drag our model here. So in here on the value change, let's drag this script, rotate model, and slider rotating model. Save it and let's try it first. You can see they will rotate. So I want to have a button that when we press the button, our model will change color depending on what color of the button is. So for this one, I want to change this pane. Let's drag it to the top, so we want to reduce it. Let's create our button, UI button. Let's delete the text because we don't really need it. After that, change the anchor of the button. Let's resize it also. Then let's create the script for it. So create script. Let's name it as change color model. Okay. So for this one, we want to be able to access the material. So you can see that the material is inside the mesh renderer component. This one. So we want to change the color of it. So to make that, we need to be able to access the public mesh renderer, the mesh model, delete all of this. Then we also need to access the image of the button. So we need to using engine.ui. So for this one, let's make a function to put inside the on-click on the button. So public void change color cat c. Remember that we want to access the material from the mesh renderer. So let's mesh model material color is equals to. So for this, to make it easier, I want to be able to access the function that we just create inside this on click, and they will check whatever button we are currently pressing. They will check the color of it. So for example, if we set this color for the button, so they will get the same color in here also. So to do that, we need to access the event system. So we need to using the engine.event system. So in here, let's put event system .current select the game object. And remember, we need to get component of the image and of the color. So get component image color. So using this, the color of the mesh model will have same color with the button also. Let's save it. Drag our new script to here. Drag the mesh renderer. Set the button. Let's drag the script. Color model, change color. Let's change the color to this. Let's try it. And you can see they will change color accordingly. See this? It has the same color with this here. You can test it by duplicating the button. Here, change the color of it. Play. Yes, okay. Let's now make it for the AR. And to do that, we need to go to Window, Package Manager, go to All. Let's install the ARFoundation. Go to All again, install our ARCore. And then last is install the ARKit. And after you have installed all three of these, we go to the hierarchy, right click. You can see that we now have the new tab called SR. So let's add the AR session origin. Right click, add the AR session, and add the AR default plane. You can see that inside the AR session origin, they have their own camera here. So let's delete our main camera. Let's add new component in the AR session origin called AR Plan Manager. So you can see that they need the plan prefab component. So this is when you are using AR, and if they are detecting some kind of surface, they will show this plan prefab. So let's create the AR default plan to become prefab. Drag it and delete our AR default plan. Then let's add here to the plan prefab. So after that, let's create the script to be able to place our model inside the AR. Create new script. Let's call it place on plan. Use the ARFoundation. We need to add using Unity engine.xr.ARFoundation. And after that, let's create new variable called private AR session origin called session origin. And we need to store our heat inside the private list AR precast heat. Let's call it as heats. And inside the start, we need to call the session origin AR session origin, and same with the heats. Make new list for it. And let's call our model that we are going to show whenever we press the screen. Name it public game object model. So usually we will actually spawn the model whenever the player press on the screen. But in here, because we already store the some of our model inside the script, so we cannot actually spawn it. So we will just set active true and false our model. So in the start, we need to set active false our model, and we need to do the same for the canvas also, because we don't really want the player to change any of this when the model is not active yet inside the game. So let's make new game object for the canvas. We need to set active false also. Then inside the update, we see if the input touch count is 0. So this means that if the player haven't pressed anything on the screen yet, they will stop calling the rest of the script. So let's store the task. We will only check the very first task, inside the game. And we recast it. You see here, we need to check where the player touches on the screen. So we put touch.position. We put the AR recast hits. The hits. Then you see that it automatically shows this. So we just use this dot blend within polygon. So we store the pose as the very first hits. So in here we check if our model is not active inside the game yet. So model active in hierarchy is not active yet. We make the model become true. Then we set the model position, depends on where the player hit on the screen, and same with the rotation also. Then we also set active through our canvas. And after that, for example, if the model is already active inside the screen, then if the player press on anywhere else, the model will change the position according to where is the new position that the player press. So to do that, model.transform.position is equals to the pose.position. Save this. So let's drag our new script inside the AR session origin. Drag our model and also drag our canvas. So when you're clicking the UI, like the button or the slider, your model can sometimes change the position also. It's because when you're clicking the UI, it can pass through this and also clicking on the game object. So to avoid that, we need to add one more function. So this function we will provide at the description down below, and for this function we need to add this event system. So using Unity engine.event system. So what this function will do is they will check if what the player is clicking is also clicking any UI or not. So add it here. This whatever UI object, and they need the position, so it's the task dot position. So we need to add false here. So what this will do, they will check if what the player currently pressing is pressing on the track plane and also not over any UI object, then they will do this. So save this. Okay, so we are done, and the last thing is go to File, Build Settings, go to the player settings, and this is if you are using Android, but you need to change the package name. And change the product name to whatever you want. Like that. Change color. Then you need to uncheck the multi-thread rendering. Uncheck the x86 because ARCore doesn't support both of it. Then you need to change the minimum API level to become Android 7, API level 24. So remember to also add your current open scene when you are building. Okay, so we have done all of the steps. Then let's build it. AR This is how the end result looks like. You can rotate your model. Change the color. You can also move your model around.